The system that we had in the past, we had multiple systems trying to create one goal: to receive product in, sell the product, ship the product out, get paid for the product.
The system we were on, we had been on for over 20 years, and it had moved along. There was a lot of updates over periods of time, and every time there was an update, there was a big disruption in our business because the update, certain things didn't work.
Inventory was a struggle. In any inventory system, you have to be able to know if products are moving on your floor or are they not moving.
In the past, I would be running around in circles searching for a single item and I have a clue where it's at and waste lots of valuable time.
And one of our main goals to go into Encompass and go into a warehouse management system is truly to get rid of pens and paper.
I was apprehensive about whether it could work for our company and our processes. With Encompass, after the initial meeting with them and the explanation of the WMS, I felt like we could go forward with it and it would not be an issue for us.
Encompass is very seamless. You don't have communication gaps between multiple systems. Encompass is one system.
Pulling beer, picking it was 4 different systems interacting to do one overall job, which is to get the beer out the door and to the customer. With Encompass, we're down to one system that we take the orders in, we pull the beer through Encompass, and we load the trucks through Encompass.
I do not have to stop production to be able to do inventory. As guys are putting beer away, things are live. They're scanning things, they're putting them in a bin. It's instantaneous information. It's already updated, so I can count whenever I want, as many times as I want.
Once you start receiving with Encompass, you're going to get a true date of the product that's on your floor and where it's at. In the past, it was paper. The paper got lost. You didn't have any kind of way to track it. You know, if somebody wrote down the wrong item, you're creating an error in your inventory just because somebody wrote down the wrong item code or the description of it or the quantity of it. You know, you get to scan an item now and move it from one location to another location. I don't know how you get any more accurate than that.
If someone tells me that they can't find an item, I quickly pull up that item and can tell them I got 15 in X location. So it's just it being so informative as to where all your product is at, if you have any, who's moved it, you know, what time they moved it, when it was received, when it was shipped. I mean, every part of the warehouse management system makes your job easier.
We can count our pick line every single day and absolutely make sure that it's 100% accurate before picking. That's important if you're wanting to make sure that you don't have out of stocks, shortages on the orders.
Every time I show a brand new or an employee that hasn't used this system and I show them how to use it, they're blown away how the information is right there in their face with the code dates, exactly where it's at. So that part of it is extremely, extremely efficient. You know, if you lost a couple of cases a day, that turned into, you know, 60 cases. If you lost 5, I mean, it would grow and grow like crazy. So now I have my managers through the WMS system do follow-up and pull reports on what was taken out of inventory and verify it to reduce the amount of cases that I'm losing in inventory.
We have a redundant part of inventory. It's not really redundant, it's a separate inventory, and it's a close-to-code inventory.
Close-dated product is an absolute pain in the butt in our industry. That's another part of the warehouse management system that's fantastic, is that your rotation is 10 times better because you see everything. As soon as you pull up an item, you see all your code dates. So you're not pulling from the wrong row to feed your pick lines. You're pulling them from the oldest dates you have. In the past, I couldn't get salesmen to order. For one, they didn't know how much we had, and it wouldn't get ordered. Now they're prompted to order it before they order their fresh beer.
As far as close dated beer and stuff like that, if you order, it actually shows you what's left in the warehouse is close dated, so you can pick your close dated stuff as you're doing your order. You don't have to go back afterwards and look and say what's in the warehouse, or you don't have to go back to the warehouse and see.
I have a problem of overselling close code product, which is a good problem because it's cleaning out our warehouse, it's keeping it, you know, the warehouse fresh.
I will tell you, when we implemented Encompass and the close-to-code procedure, we almost went down to a 0 close-to-code count by the second day. It was very impressive. Before that, we had probably 500 cases total of 900 SKUs of close-to-code. The very next day, I was amazed how much it went out. The second day, I will tell you, it was probably down to less than 100 cases. I was amazed and astounded by the way it really worked.
Once the order comes in, we're able to start picking immediately. We don't have to wait for the whole route to be in. We can just go, as that pallet comes in, we pull that pallet. With the Encompass voice pick, we've been able to really improve our accuracy on picks. It takes out a lot of our, out of the human error out of it, as the Encompass voice pick will just send the person to pick how many cases at what area.
It's been a big help to make sure that they have the right products on the truck every day.
Encompass truck loaders significantly saved us some time as far as when we're building. It's an automated process. Before we were doing a manual process. With Encompass, we're feeding it all through and letting with the different heights, weights, and measurements put in by the product, they're building our pallets for us. It's down to a click of a button. It gives us an overview of what's going out on the street and what's coming into our warehouse. It shows me what orders have already been sold, what's left to be sold, and allows me to predict how many trucks I'll need for the next day and how many hours I'll need to pick it in the warehouse.
People make mistakes, you have errors. However, they have been pretty limited to the amount of mistakes on the truck. So these guys are not having to worry whether their loads are going to be picked correctly.
Encompass's mapped routing, we are actually currently going through a reroute, and what it does, the availability it gives me is just look at the cases. It gives me the whole broad stroke of what we're doing as a company, and I can move it around. I can visually see it, and I can show the delivery guys, delivery managers, as well as the drivers themselves, where the store is in relation and why decisions are being made on the routing. With the one system, it's actually freed up several people, whereas previously we had 3 people would continuously be building trucks, processing orders, building trucks, loading them, and we've cut out probably 16 hours out of the day by just using the Encompass One system.
In a day, I mean, pretty much every account, it probably saves you about 15 minutes each account.
For efficiencies today, with fuel prices the way they're going, you're looking to try to maximize your trucks. You're trying to maximize whether it's a salesperson, merchandiser, or delivery person. That's a huge expense out there with the fuel. So that information helps you truly reroute with real numbers, not, well, I think it takes 20 minutes to work this account.
The people we're hiring today and the sales forces and so on and so forth, they're a younger generation. They're naturally take to this equipment easily. Teaching them the old stuff was hard. You're using iPods and Apple and iPhones and iPads. These guys know how to use those things. They didn't know how to use some of the old Motorola equipment and things that we had before. It was much harder.
People love this new technology. All these new, young, up-and-coming people. That is the future of our business. I mean, they attack it. It's like, it's so easy for them to learn.
The other devices were much bigger, maintenance contracts, cost, licensing, expenses, a lot of those things just all went away with Encompass. Typically, the guy would have to come off his route and come back to the building before we could do anything with him. It was a big loss of time and IT effort.
Coming out of a archaic software, to something a lot more today's technology, making it so much easier.
It's just basically an internet connection. Everybody logs into the same website. We just need to make sure we have a good internet connection. The equipment itself is, everything's in the cloud, the whole program, so I don't have to worry about pulling tape, doing backups, all the things that we had to deal with before.
When we went with Encompass, we had to look at true process and procedures and truly look at what we were doing. Was it right? Was it wrong? Was it best practices?
Encompass enforces a behavior that helps you collect the data that you can analyze to determine what your issues were. Before, we didn't have that. So we didn't have good information collected, so you couldn't analyze it for anything. That now we can.
Now I promise you, I've got 15 to 20 guys that are every day pulling some kind of a sales report and going and seeing a customer with a report and talking about numbers with them and truly making an impact in the account.
The people who developed the program and the software and the processes are from the beer industry. So they knew what we were doing. We could talk to them, speak the same language.
Before, it would take months to train a person to do inventory, where now it would take merely a few hours.
If you can do Microsoft Word, Excel, or any of the normal programs, you can get through the Encompass system.
It saves me an hour a day, so when the drivers come in, their job's a little easier, so it saves them time. So in all, it's saving the whole company. I can't imagine the amount of money and time it's saving the company.
It's a huge time saver. It keeps my inventory straight. It reduces the amount of variances in the inventory, so it is absolutely incredible.
The Encompass implementation process went very smoothly.
I thought Encompass did a really good job actually trying to get ahead of the curve and seeing what we were going to need. What kind of things did we need to change in our procedures, processes that were going to fit into the way Encompass really works.
Encompass really has a feel for the beer industry itself. They weren't software people that were just trying to do something that'd make it work for somebody else. This was something that had been implemented to meet the beer industry needs.
I would challenge anybody that does not have warehouse management system to come over to our location and check out our operation and see that they can do it more efficiently and do it better.
It's easy to see that they're going to be the leader in the industry.
After installing the Encompass WMS, I don't know how we operated before without it.